Mana mana dee 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 dee. I'm going to check my settings and see what do we have for audio today. We have Galaxy Buds. You can hear me. Oh, nice. Yay. Mana mana dee 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 dee. Mana mana dee 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 dee. Mana mana dee 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 dee. I have glasses galore today, my friends. Glasses galore. They're everywhere. I love these, but they're clear, and so I set them down places, and then I cannot find them. Hey, everybody. I'm just going to take a couple minutes here while we wait for people to pop on. I see lots of eyeballs. Mana, mana, dee, 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 dee. I have a few questions today to get started with, and then I have a couple of other things I just want to share with you. Congratulations to all of you who took advantage of the weekend sale. Oh, shoot, I forgot to turn on Leanne over here. Sorry, Leanne. I'm coming for you, my friend. I'm coming for you. Yeah, lots of great deals today. So, I mean, over the weekend at the warehouse sale. So congratulations to those of you who were able to find the things that you needed to get and stay organized at the sale this weekend. Okay. Oh, here I hear Petey. Here I hear Petey's little feet coming in the door. Hello, hello, my crafty friends, and welcome to Tuesday Live. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Remember, if you want to ask a question, if you start the question with a bunch of question marks, or if you put the word question in all caps, that makes it really easy for Leanne and Susie to kind of watch the feed for that. So there are 3 different feeds going on: YouTube, Facebook, Get Organized group, and the Facebook Totally Tiffany page. Leanne says we are good on YouTube, and she's waiting for Facebook. I think Susie saw Facebook, so we're good on Facebook there as well. So welcome to Tuesday Live. Okay, what are we starting with today? I read this somewhere over the last couple of weeks, and I thought I'm going to share that with my Tuesday Live group because it's the new year and we're making resolutions and goals and trying to get things done. And it was this: starting a new activity is stickier than quitting an old one. So if you are thinking that you need to change some type of behavior or you want to do something different in your life, instead of saying you're going to quit something, it might work better for you to say, I'm going to start something new, right? So I'm not sure if that makes sense, right? So instead of saying, I'm not going to spend as much time doing X, it's better to say, I'm going to start doing Y, right? So it's a positive rather than a negative. So starting a new activity is stickier than quitting an old one. Okay, now I was going to put this Terry Buddy bag together today because I want to show you what I'm doing with my Colorista colored pencils. And I thought I have this little trick about getting the plastic off of the buddy bag inner boxes, right? So if you've been around TT for a while, you know the first thing that you need to do with any of our fold together products is fold on all the score lines, right? And then I'm just going to punch out the little tabs here that hold the little holes that hold the tabs in. Okay. And so one side of this has a piece of plastic on it that keeps it from being crystal clear. So some of you may have buddy bags that you think you don't even know that there's plastic on there because it's still pretty clear, but it's hard to get that plastic off. Here's my little trick. Take a straight pin and stab and grab the plastic, right? And then you can pull it right off. Makes it super simple to get that off. Otherwise, just trying to scrape it off is a pain in the neck. So a simple straight pin in your sticky stuff. Susie's like, what are you going to do with that garbage, Tiffany? Get it out of here. All right, before you put the box together, this is a Terry Buddy bag, and I cut her name tag off, and then I don't know what I did with it. I thought I brought it over here, didn't I, Susie? Maybe it's under my paper. So I cut her name. Oh, it's right here on the floor. Hello. Oh no, that's not it. That's another piece of white paper about the same size. You see it over there? Oh, I left it over where I was prepping things up. So again, if you cut the name off the packaging, drop it in the bag, then you will remember which bag that is. So I got these fab new Colorista color pencils. I have 4 of them, right? I don't know if you've had a chance to play with any of the Colorista stuff, but it's really cool and super fun and just a great quality. And I was like, how am I going to organize these? Because I want the color up on them. And I thought, I'm just going to cut the top off. So when you get them, and this will probably work. So there was another question about Copics. And I don't know if Copics come in this kind of packaging or not, because I've always bought my Copics individually. But if they come in sets, you might be able to apply this. I'll talk about that later. I cut the top off. Now all the tips are up. So I flipped them around so they had the colors up. I cut the top off and I left the tray. I cut the top of the tray also, but I cut it off. And then I'm going to be able to store them in their little boxes in the Terry bag, right? And I'll finish that and show you, but I just kind of, this is what was on my plate today. And then I can still get to those pencils. I can keep them in order. I can see the color of the top of them. And once I cut the top off the packaging, I'll be able to just close up the Terry bag. And so they'll all be nice and neat and tidy in one little Terry bag. So I thought it was a fun way to get those organized and keep the packaging, which I know a lot of you like to do. On the back packages, there's, you know, a color grid and the kind of information that you might want to have, website info and stuff like that. So that was my little strategy. Here's the top pieces that I cut off, right? So I'm just going to throw those away. And then once I cut these other ones off, I'm going to have a nice, easy way to store my Colorista pencils. So again, maybe you have kids or grandkids that you're working with, and this would work for them. So great use of the Terry bag for colored pencil storage. All right. Why did I go with Terry instead of Deborah? Because the Colorista packaging that I wanted to leave intact is too wide for Deborah. Otherwise, I could have done it in the Deborah bag. The height is okay, but the bag itself is too, I mean, the box is too wide to fit in the Deborah bag. Okay, from Lisa Kirkland, she writes, I absolutely love your scrapbook album cases. I have 17 of the 3-inch spine dimension ones. They're perfect for We Are Memory albums. I've been waiting for years to find this product. Dust is such an issue with storage and albums. I just happened to run across this item on Amazon, about everything they had, then ordered 2 more from you. Okay, here's my request. I also have larger scrapbooks I get from Hobby Lobby. These are a 4-inch spine, 16.5-inch length, and 13.5 top to bottom. I personally would buy 20 of these for my current inventory of these larger books. Any chance that you might produce this larger size? Also, could you let me know if there's something you decided to make so I can get my order in? Thank you for considering my request, Lisa Kirkland. So thank you, Lisa, for writing in. Love, love, love that you gave me exactly what the dimensions are. I don't see why not. Like, I put this on my list of things to discuss. This is an easy solution for us. And if that is the size of box that Hobby Lobby, size of album, that is the Hobby Lobby brand album, then it seems like that would be something they would want to have stored right there with their albums as well. So I have put that to the top of the list, and I will see what I can do about getting that done for you. It's a pretty easy request. Marshall Cummins says, hello from Prescott. What would you suggest for storage for my bling gems? I have tons stored into baggies by color, something other than the scrap rack. And she sent me a picture of the baggies, which was also helpful because I could see all this big variety of sizes and shapes that she has stored in those baggies. So my suggestion to you, Marshall, would be something like either I guess I should have another question about traveling with those. I would use the pockets, and then depending on how you're moving those things around, I'm looking for a sample here. Everything got rearranged this weekend. Okay, so here we go. So these are the 5x7 pockets, right? And I have kind of a variety of things. These are organized by colors, kind of a variety of embellishments in there. There's some red ones, red and pink together with the bling. But even I've got these other different kinds of embellishments in there. So I would pick a pocket size that you think is going to be the most applicable, right? I saw your bags and you have a variety of different types of bling, different sizes and different shapes. So if you had, so this is the 5x7. You might like the Kirsten Buddy Bag better because it's 9x6. So you can get more things in the pockets if you're storing the 9x6 pockets there. But it would make it easier, right? Especially if you were doing one color per. The other option is going to be something like the storage and supply cases, maybe the 2-drawer storage and supply case where you could put, where's the 2 drawers? Is this a 2-drawer? Yeah. So the 2-drawer storage and supply case, right? It looks like you could put one color in each side and then label it at the end. And then of course you're able to label the front of the drawers as well and even stack them up, right? There's another 2-drawer there. So if you had 2 drawers, this would be red bling, this would be blue bling or pink, whatever you want to do. And then you could have them open like this on a shelf or on your workspace. And then if you're going to travel with them, you can just close them up and throw them in your tote. So depending, if you're always only crafting at home, Kirsten is going to be a great solution. Or if you want something you can tip upside down, right? Or smaller storage, depending on your space, 5x7 would probably fit the majority of your supplies. I know you had some like really thick ones that they used to store those brads in thick foam. I'd pull them out of the foam and just throw them in a Ziploc bag in with the rest of your stuff because that foam is taking up so much space and it doesn't really damage them. I used to collect the Karen Foster ones that were all packaged that way, and I never had any trouble with them just putting them in a Ziploc bag. And it just really condensed down that space. So I would look at or the 2-drawer, right? The 2-drawer is nice because you can build a little organizer for your stuff on the shelf or on your tabletop that also closes up and travels. So if you like to travel with your supplies, storage and supply case is going to be a good option for that as well. Thanks for asking. Good to hear from you also from Prescott. Stacy Ivan Cowell says, I love buddy bags. Any chance of developing inserts for Denise? I like my markers to stay neat and tidy and in color order. I don't know about that. However, I will give you a little way that you could do that. If you take plastic sheeting like our dividers, right? Either the dividers for the scrap rack or the paper storage box dividers, and you cut them to the right size, and then you cut a second set that goes the opposite way, right? So almost like when you open a case of beer, I guess, and there's the cardboard dividers on the inside of that separate all the bottles, right? Something like that. Copy that, the way that that's done, right? You've got things going this way and this way, and you don't necessarily need one hole for each Copic. I wouldn't recommend that. But if the holes were big enough for 3 or 4 Copics, then it's easy to keep them in color order, pull things in and out and insert them. But if you have a hole for every Copic, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, A, to make that thing, and B, to actually get your markers in, right? You're going to bump up against that plastic. So, but if you made the holes just 3 Copics wide, then it would be perfect. So if you give that a shot, I don't think it would be that difficult either, honestly. I mean, you could try cutting it out of even heavy cardstock to start with. That would be easier to cut than the plastic. And once you get the sizes dialed in, you may even leave it just cardstock. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of abuse doing that. So, but I would love to see it if you do it. I did make a little note about trying this myself. So it is kind of on my notepad of things to do. And I'll try to check it out because it would be fun if we just released the patterns and people could copy and make them themselves. So I think that's for people who want to segment off their markers. I think it's a great solution, but I don't think we would ever do it. I mean, never say never, but it's not out and about. Deborah Sherman says, how do you start to catalog your items? And do you separate by dies and stamps, etc.? Well, my recommendation is that you have one catalog that includes everything: dies, stamps, punches, stencils, embossing folders, because the idea is that when you want to work on a Christmas page, if you flip to that Christmas section of your catalog, you see everything, what all your choices are, right? So you can flip through those Christmas pages and see all your stamps and embossing folders and punches and all the things right there in one place. I'm going to see, I think I have a catalog right over, I do actually. So the hardest part about cataloging your supplies is getting started. There's a couple of videos on the website. If you go to the blog page and click on catalog, there's a couple of like how to get started. The biggest thing about cataloging is that the idea of doing it is overwhelming, right? You think about all the things that you have and where to start and how difficult that's going to be. And it just, your brain kind of shuts down. So you just need to go into it with a good plan. So when I started working through all, like, I think I mentioned to you guys before that I was going to put all of my die stamps and bones into die stamp and supply organizers. And so the first thing I did was figure out how many things I could fit in each section. And then I created these little number tabs, right? So this says 1 through 12. So I knew that what my numbers were going to be, how many things I could fit in here. And then I filled it up with all my die stamp stencils. And we've got the different pocket sizes that fit in here. Some of your stamps like these are already on acetate, so it doesn't matter if they don't need a pocket as long as they're all the same size, right? These were different sizes, the stamps in this section, so they're all in pockets, so they're all become the same size, so they're easy to label and see those numbers. And once you load up something, whatever it is, with your dice or your stamps or your punches, and then you give them all a number, then it becomes really easy to start cataloging them. And you can either say, okay, I'm going to catalog 10 things today, or I'm going to catalog these things as I use them when they're already out and they're already inky and that kind of thing, or both. So the beautiful thing about a catalog is this is all the months of the year, right? So if I'm going to have a section that's called the calendar year, I'm going to be able to put this stamp set in there. When I pull it out to use one, I have a number on it. It's number 1. I'm going to put it down and add the number to it and then put it away, right? Or I can do them all at the same time. And I should say, you can do it both ways. So don't get overwhelmed thinking I have to do all of this at one time. You can do a little bit at a time, and you can add things to your catalog as you're working. So the key is get them all into some kind of container first, then number them within that container. So with this system, this goes to number 104, right? Those are all the spaces I have available in this one. And then the next one, which is over here, starts at 105, right? So I just continue the numbering system through this. Now, for punches, I might add a different, I mean, they obviously aren't going to fit in here because they're big, right? But here's embossing folders, same numbers continued from over here to here, and this is just embossing folders. The number is irrelevant as long as it's going to take you where you need to go. So, but the hardest thing is just getting started. So load up one container, one storage container, number those things, and just get started. But there's a lot of videos and step-by-step stuff on the website, also on my YouTube channel, and that would be my best advice for you to get started. But you really have to, I mean, there's a lot of overwhelm to overcome to get started, but once you start and once it's done, you will love it. Which brings me to my next question. Michelle Ortega says, I was tired of using my catalog to find my personalized stamps numbered and then go to the bins to find the right numbered item. I needed these quick and accessible on my desk to stamp the back of my cards. Here's a picture of Shelly, the Shelly Buddy Bag, holding all of my personalized stamps already on blocks. That now sits right on my desk with a black ink pad and my laminated index of examples. Love this. So this is a great point, right? The things that you use all the time, like Michelle is saying, you want to have those at hand. You don't want to go looking for them. So if you, this is on the Facebook page, the Get Organized Challenge group is where I sit. So you can see a picture of her Shelly Buddy Bag, and she has mounted each of the stamps, and she's laminated her examples and numbered in just within that little Shelly bag. So she can look at that quick thing, go, oh, I want this number 5 made by Michelle, and pull it out and use it and pop it right back in. So kind of a miniature catalog of sorts. But when you're thinking about things that you use all the time, you want to have them at hand all the time. This is a great solution, right? Keep those things together that you're going to use together. And the more often you're going to use them, make sure that they're somewhere within reach, because the easier it is to do, the more fun you're going to have, less frustrating it's going to be. Do you have a question, Susie?
No.
Okay. Okay. Michelle, I love paper too. Did you ever find out what happened to the 9x6 pockets that were supposed to be on the warehouse sale? No, but I do know that they're in stock in the US warehouse, and I think that they have them at scrapbook.com, and the Stamps of Life also has them. So I don't know what happened with the warehouse sale. There was a lot of weirdness with the inventory and the load in on Friday morning, and yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. So I apologize for that, because up front we were supposed to have those, and then they didn't end up making the sale. So I did have a conversation with the UK team this morning about those kinds of issues. So hopefully we will avoid them going forward. Question, this is from Marlene Cates, are you getting more double play scrap rack pages in? I do not think so. I think what you see or what you saw is what you get on the warehouse sale. I think that's a page that's going to be discontinued. Carmen Stillwagon. So are they in a category when numbered, or you just put it in by size when you buy a new set and just add the next number? Yes, that's what I do. So if my next number, so this, if whatever empty folder is, okay, so this empty folder is folder number 416, right? So we got my little tab here. Again, shut your flap tab. 416 is the next empty folder in this size. So if I bought a set of stamps or a big stencil or something that fit in here, I would go to my catalog. Say I bought a Christmas stencil. I would go to Christmas. I would add that impression. I would put the number 416 next to it, drop that stencil in this pocket, and put it right back, right? The beautiful thing about cataloging is that you do not have to keep all of your Christmas things together, your Easter things or whatever. It's not important, because they're all together in the catalog, and that keeps you from having half empty bins or containers, right? So if you have a bin of Christmas stamps, and then you have a bin of Christmas embossing folders and a bin of Christmas punches, and they're all, half full, and then you've got birthday punches and birthday stamps and birthday stencils, and they're all half full. Well, half your space is wasted. So doing something like this and using the catalog means you can just go to your catalog. Sorry, I pulled this off my shelf, and then you can just go right to your catalog and say, this is all alphabet stamps, right? What alphabet stamps do I have, and what size are they, and where are they? And so I can choose whichever one. So this one is, you see it has a little sticker on it that says 96, and I'm just going to go right to my shelf to pocket number 96, pull that out, use those stamps, and put it right back in the 96 spot. So I know the size and shape of whatever it is. So these are impressions of embossing folders, and I just do those with the rubbing. Different punches, right? Here's an anniversary section. So so this little stamp and the die that says celebrate and the balloon, those are also probably going to be in birthday, right? So anywhere that I might use them, I might make several impressions or die cut several times that particular thing, right? There's the balloon again and the gift box, but I know where it is because the number is going to take me to it. So it makes it really simple, and you're prompting yourself regardless of the category, right? So I'll have that gift box in baby, wedding, anniversary, birthday celebration, Christmas, anywhere that I might need a gift box, I'm going to have an impression of that, whether it's a stamp, a stencil, or in this case, a die, so that I remember to use it on all of those levels. I got to put my pocket back or I'll be short one. All right. Shirley Mott, I saw a video on YouTube about removing stamps from wooden block. Is this a good idea, or should they be left on the wooden block? Totally is up to you. The wooden block allows you, like the stamp is put on the block, ideally to match, right? So when you see the picture on the top of the stamp, it's lined up with the picture with the actual rubber stamp underneath. And when you peel that off, you're not going to have any sort of image. So if you peel that red rubber off and you put it on a clear block, which lots of people do, there is no image that shows you how that's lined up unless you put the image on the red rubber somehow. So that's kind of the biggest challenge with it. The reason people pull them off the red rubber, off the wooden blocks, is because wooden blocks take up so much space, and that's it. But it's not going to harm the stamp at all. It's just a different, when you actually go to stamp that down, the orientation is going to be a little bit harder to know. I guess you can always practice stamp it right, or draw on the red rubber, like on the backing of the red rubber. So like this little red rubber stamp right here, there's no image on it. So when I put it on my block, it's cut out, so I know exactly, I kind of know where it goes. But if you had, like, this is a little fairy, but if you had a flower or something, you wouldn't quite have that same dimension on it. But that's the only reason. They take up a lot less space when they're stored this way, right? You can get a lot more, and they're more transportable and all of those kind of things. I love my woodblock stamps. I have them in my 6-level Stadium Arranger and my Stamp Store and Go bags, but they're very visual that way, easy for me to store vertically, which is my thing. So this is a store and go bag, right? This is the double-sided store and go bag. You can label it down the side. It's got a little tray to pull it out, but it allows you to create kind of a library of stamps that you can stand up vertically instead of having to have space to spread them all out, or bins that you have to dig through or something like that. But it is just, that's it. Those are, someone else might know another reason to take them off or not to take them off, but that's oh, Susie has a question.
Okay, Kim Rice wants to know, if there are multiple stamps on a sheet, do you cut them all apart to put them in pockets, keep it all together, and each stamp would be labeled with the same pocket number?
So Kim Rice is asking, if you have a stamp set with multiple stamps on it, do you cut them apart, or I'm going to find one that's easier to see. You cut them apart. So this is a stamp set with multiple stamps, different things on it. I leave the whole set together because usually the set is going to go together, right? And then I'm going to take a photocopy of this. This happens to be a little French Bon Appetit, kind of girly little scene. I'm going to take a couple of photocopies of that. Like, I might put this in a little section I have called Girlfriends. I might put it in Travel, and I might put it in Food. So I'm just going to photocopy it on the copy machine 3 times. And then all 3, they're going to be labeled 109, and they're going to go in those 3 different sections of my catalog. But I would always keep them together unless they're like big, like if you had a set of 4 stamps and one was Santa Claus and one was the Easter Bunny and one was a leprechaun or whatever. I don't know. No, I still wouldn't do it. I just photocopy the whole thing. and put it in the catalog, just because the styles all look the same. I don't know where you might cross over those things, but it's just easier, right? You can stamp each individual one also, so that once you get it out and get it on a block, it's easier to stamp the impression 4 times than it is to photocopy it 4 times. But then you have to clean it up. So either way that you want to go, Susie's going, don't clean it up, just photocopy it, right?
Yeah,
so, and some people take pictures of them. And the only reason I don't like that is because you don't actually size. So unless you're taking a picture of this, like on a cutting mat where you see the dimensions, which is also doable. The nice thing about, then you'll know the size. The nice thing about taking the photocopy is that you can look at that catalog and go, okay, yeah, that is 2 by 1.5. That's the size that I need. And I know also I make extra dies. Like when I cut dies, I'll make extra ones and then laminate them so that I can lay them on top of my layout and kind of test out how it's going to look or how it's going to fit on that layout. I don't do that with all of them. 109. See how easy that is? Put that away. But as I go along, I do it. I'm trying to think. I just used one the other day that was like that. Where did I put that? If it pops into my head, but it gives me that overlay, that clear, it's just laminated, and then I can lay it down on my layout or on my card or whatever I'm doing and know exactly how it's going to fit.
All right, Marlene Kate says she doesn't see the double-sided storage bag for stamps on the website.
Double-sided storage bag for stamps, if it's not on the website, it's SKU number is 838. They probably have it at scrapbook.com. No, sorry, 838 is the same bag, single-sided. And then the double-sided is probably going to be at scrapbook.com as well. And that is SSG 17. But if you searched double-sided stamp bag or something like that, you would probably find it on scrapbook.com. If they're in stock, also Stephanie's going to have them. The stampsoflife.com will have, she has carried the A38 and I think the double-sided bag as well. Simon Says Stamp might also have them. If you did a Google search, you would probably get whatever options are there available. So if you search Totally Tiffany double-sided stamp bag or stamp store and go bag, you'll probably pull up in a Google search. They might even be on Amazon, right? Like one of our retailers might have them on Amazon. Joann's might have them. So do a quick Google search and see, depending on where you are, how they pop up. Mary Walden says, are you discontinuing more scrap rack pages or the scrap rack? I would want to stock up. Thank you. As of right now, the only, I believe that page that came up that was questioned earlier, the Daily Double, I think, what it's called. It has like a 8-inch pocket and then like a 4-inch pocket, or an 8.5-inch pocket and a 3.5-inch pocket, I think is what it is. I think that's the only one that's being discontinued that's available right now. On the Totally Tiffany website, a lot of them are out of stock. That is because we're moving the shipping of all the scrap rack stuff to the US warehouse, just because it's so heavy and bulky. I know the pages aren't, but so that but it's all transitioning over. So that's kind of a weird dynamic at the moment, but you still can get them. Scrapbook.com has a scrap rack and the pages and the dividers and all that stuff. And again, a quick Google search will show you who's carrying it on Amazon. I'm pretty sure both Joann's.com and Michaels.com are going to offer them as well. So keep your eye on things. But no, we're not discontinuing the scrap rack. There will be a couple pages that are being discontinued or have been discontinued, but the only one that comes to mind right now is the Daily Double. Ramona Calhoun, I have a lot of cabinet bases that the bottom drawers are like for files. Would you have suggestions on how to organize storage in here? I do scrapbooking, paper crafts, and sewing. Boy, anything that you can get vertical in there. I don't know the depth of those files. So I would look at the Slide Stash and Store vinyl roll organizers, right? So this is a vinyl roll organizer tray. It's the same concept as Slide, Stash, and Store. But if you put these into the bottom of that drawer, right, literally filled it with different widths and depths of the Slide, Stash, and Store products, then you've created segments where you can stand up 12 by 12 paper. You can stand up vinyl roll organizers. You could stand up your tools, right? So if you just thought about, right, having these in that. So this is a paper trimmer, right? You know, here you go. You've got now. My glasses over there. Now you're able to store tools. You can get vertical with buddy bags as well. So whether it's ink pads or paints or ribbon or embellishments, washi tape, lining those drawers with something that's going to allow you to keep everything vertical. What you don't want to do is pile things into a drawer and have to dig down to the bottom of it, right? So something like Slide, Stash, and Store is going to work great. Also something like storage and supply cases, right, that you can stand up in that drawer and label, right, the top of the bag so that you know what it is, and then you can just pull that whole bag out. But really think about using those drawers vertically, how to get things vertical in the drawers, then kind of stacking things in there. But they're probably going to work brilliantly. I don't know how wide they are this way, but remember, you don't have to put these in going this way down the drawer. You might want to put some this way and some the other way, depending on how you're going to fit things in the drawer. But I would really focus on how can I get everything in here vertically, and then you're going to be able to maximize that space and access everything as well. Hilda Bonilla Nazario says, when are the magnetic sheets, both sizes, back in stock? I desperately need them. Oh, we just had them on the warehouse sale. So there's the 5x7 and the 8x5 magnetic sheets, and there's also the 9x4, which are the slimline storage sheets. If they're not on our website, I can ask when they'll be back in stock. I don't know if you're US or UK or somewhere else. I should probably ask people, like, if you're not in the US, if you can add that to your question, then I might be able to give you better direction. Matter of fact, this afternoon, 6 o'clock this evening, I guess, our time, I'm going to be doing an appearance on Paper Crafters Workshop in Canada, talking about Totally Tiffany stuff. Paper Crafters Workshop carries a bunch of Totally Tiffany products. We're going to talk about paper takers and a few other things. And so if you're in Canada, Paper Crafters Workshop tonight, she has also got a sale on 20% off all Totally Tiffany with the code totally and the number 2020. That's Paper Crafters Workshop Canada. So if I know where you are, it's going to be easier for me to tell you. But we have so many retailers, and I know you love to shop on the TT site, and I know you like to get your Club Inspire points and all that. But if they're not, the products aren't there, please know that you can just do a Google search and they're going to pop up on the Stamps of Life, scrapbook.com, Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, all those places. And their online stores especially are going to have an assortment of TT stuff. So you might be able to find something even.
Michael's at the double-sided stamp.
Oh, Michael's.com does have the double-sided stamp store. And go back. And a lot of times you can use your 40 off coupon at those big box retailers, even online, right? So they have all these other sales and things going on. So it's the same product still. I mean, it's exactly the same stuff. But, you know, if you think, oh, I want to get my Club Inspire points, well, if you have a 40 off coupon, that's probably going to end up being more valuable than your Club Inspire points too. So keep all that in mind as you're shopping around. Okay. Let me make sure I got all these questions answered here. Oh, I know I brought this up before. Actually, I'm going to wait. Because I want it to be at the very end of the feed, these questions. I brought this up before, but I couldn't find it. There's so many comments. Oh, comments. If you want to win the $25 gift certificate for today, make sure that you add comments, say hello, tell us what your favorite product is, because Leanne takes all the names, throws them into a hat, pulls out a winner of that $25 gift certificate, and we draw it at the end of the show. So you definitely want to take advantage of that if you're if you're, or maybe get that opportunity to get that. Marcy Shelmser, when will the die file be back? I need a few. They are so great for organizing dice. They are great for organizing dice, and I am pushing for the die file, and I will bring it up again in our next meeting. I definitely think it could be a win for something for HSN. Would be perfect for that, right? So they're great. They look good and they work well. All those good things. So it's definitely, again, something that's on my list. All right, I think I got all these questions here. Okay. Another thing, somebody asked me the other day about organizing and traveling their watercolor pencils. So this is the A4 8.5 by 11 paper taker, and I was able to get 4 tins of pencils in here. So if you just want to store a bunch of pencils and keep them all together, this is a good product for doing that. And now when I say 4 tins, there are the single level tins. I also have some double level tin, like 2 layers of pencils in each tin, and I can only get 2 in there. This is a Spectrum Noir size and shape, but I was also able to put everything together. I used a little pill bottle. I'm doing this upside down and backwards, right? I used a little pill bottle to hold my brushes. And then if I was going to travel with this, I could take these out. There's a lot of brushes here. You probably wouldn't have that many. And I could use this for a water container. Also, Susie's idea was like, I had a big jar in there, and she's like, you got to have something skinnier, get a pill bottle. But it really worked out quite well to keep everything organized. And then I've got my watercolor card, right? And I've got my rotating design board. So if I am, going to be, playing with watercolor, now I can put my water in here, and I've got my brushes, and these are brand new. Ooh, this one is brand new. I've got my brushes, and I've got my pencils, and everything's kind of contained. So it's easy, especially if you want to go outside and do some landscape kind of work and do that type of thing. It's an easy way to keep all of those things together and travel with them. So, and this is the A4 8.5 by 11 paper taker, which fits all of these things together. Oh, there's my water brush, actually. So your water brush is going to fit in there as well. Slide it all back in here. So it's kind of a good way to combine all the things that you might need. You probably don't need all of these, this many brushes, but slide that back in. But again, easy to travel with and keeping everything contained in one place. Nice, neat, tidy. There it is. Okay, let's see. Oh, so I think I got all these questions. Do you have any more questions, Susie, before I ask my question of everybody else?
Deanna Schneider Thompson says, idea, can you create a TT point system with scrapbook.com? They are frequently a go-to for your items, but no repeat buy incentive.
So she's asking, is it possible to create an incentive with scrapbook.com for TT products? I don't know. I will ask because they don't have a point system, so there isn't as much of a repeat buy incentive. However, they do everything that's TT, or used to be, I guess, is always 10% off retail there. So that is kind of their way of, rather than giving you, like, having you earn points and then spend points, what they're offering you is a savings all the time on everything when they work with manufacturers. So some stuff isn't that way, but we give them a special price so that they can give you a special price at scrapbook.com. And I think that might be their thought process, is we don't have like a Club Inspire or frequent shopper program. So, but this is a way that people can just save money, get a better deal all the time. They don't have to wait to save points. I think that's sort of their mentality there. Okay. Tina Swanson says, Tiffany, I don't see on your website nor on any Google search the tall, opaque 6 drawer with the silver grommets on the back, on the front. I don't see the tall, opaque. Oh, no, it's not. I don't think I have any here either, so to show you what. But we did a series of connect together drawers that fit in your lowest tote. It was lightweight plastic that you could pull out and just set on your desktop and travel with. No, I don't think they're coming back. If I had said I'd send them to you, but I don't think I have any left around here. I loved them, but everyone else didn't love them. That was sad, right? It's always sad to come out with something and people don't like it.
You take it personally. I would take it personally.
I don't know if I take it personally, but sometimes I think, oh, this is a great thing. And that's one of the reasons I love asking all of you questions, right? Because of course I think it's a great thing. It's my idea. It's like one of your children, right? It's hard to see the flaws in your own kids. It's hard to see the flaws in your own products. But when I show you guys stuff, especially when we do sneak peeks and when I'm working through development on something, it's really, really helpful to me because then I find out, is this something that I think is great, but it's not, or that everybody thinks is great. And when I was in Tacoma working in the office there, everybody in that office was a crafter, and they were all it was one of the conditions of working for me was that you had to be honest about what things I was designing. And so then it was helpful because I could get a lot of feedback from other crafters who, like, I would come downstairs thinking I had created the greatest thing since sliced bread, and Karen would look at it and go, no, go back upstairs. That's not going to work. Whatever. She did a lot more different kinds of crafts than I did, but it was really kind of fun. Like, and then I'd come down all excited, and then I'd be like, ugh, and go back upstairs and get back to work. But it was helpful.
Rice has an idea also. She says, consider putting a handle on both sides of Kirsten. When it's fully loaded, it's really heavy, and the handle will make it easier to move around.
Handle on both sides of Kirsten. Okay. Noted. I'm going to add that to the list. That is a pretty simple thing to do. So we will see if we can't make that happen. Okay, so here is my question for you. I think that there's a market, and some of you who were here a couple weeks ago when I brought this up, I think there's a need in the market for bigger buddy bag type things, right? To hold bigger paper trimmers, maybe not your big, I have the big wooden platform guillotine cutter, but even like my next size up of my Crafter's Companion cutter, there's no bag big enough to put that in. Or mats, like even your 12 by 12 cutting mat is 13 by 13 or 14 by 14 once you borders, and your 12 by 24 is actually 14 by 26. And so my thought is that bigger buddy bags for holding bigger, taller, deeper things, I think that there's a need in the marketplace for that. So what are you challenged with storing or transporting right now that you feel like a bigger buddy bag type of thing or a big pouch of sorts would be a useful thing? So and what that is, one of my ideas is to do, so you can go on Amazon and you can buy these little zipper pouches in all these different sizes, and they're very inexpensive, but none of them really fit crafting supplies, number one. And number two, none of them are gusseted. So once you put stuff in there, they bulge out on the sides and they become smaller. All of them have zippers that go straight across the top instead of around the corners, and none of them have labels on them. So my idea for a pouch system would be bigger. They actually hold crafting supplies with a gusset, 1 inch, 1.5, or 2 inch gusset in them so that they didn't bulge out on the side. And then of course, bringing in up that zipper, maybe even a double zipper that went around the corners of the pouch. So my question to you, do you need something bigger? If so, what are you going to store in it? And if you can add that in the feed, right now, if you have questions about that idea, pop those into the feed too. And then I'll be able to go back, since we're kind of at the end of the show, and look at the end of the feed. It's hard to read the comments after the fact. I don't know, maybe I'm I just don't know how to do it, but it's almost like I have to let the video run and watch the comments come up in real time to see the answers to those type of things. So, all right, one last reminder, if you haven't put a comment up today, now is the time to do it. There was one other thing on here. Oh, I'm also working on some things for the website. And one of my thoughts for the website was to put links in each product of where else you could buy it. So that if we are out of stock, or maybe it's something we're not selling, Faline, we don't have Faline on our website. So my idea was if you went to Faline on our website, it would give you all the information, and then it would say, here's a link to Faline, purchase Faline at scrapbook.com or Stamps of Life or wherever, and put a couple of links in there. So if you can't buy it from us, you have an easy link to click on to go and buy it from one of our retailers. And on one hand, I like this idea because if you're looking for something and we don't have it, I definitely want you to be able to get it in the easiest possible way. But the other thing is, I also don't want to be sending you on a wild goose chase around the internet where you've got so many windows open, you can't remember what you wanted or why you wanted it. So if you can also let me know in the feed if you think it would be helpful to have those links on products in the website. We're working on some new website development for late fall of this year, and that's one of the ideas that we're kind of knocking around. So I can see both sides of it, actually, what would be good and what would not be as good. All right. Okay, my friend, if you have a question, you see any last minute questions, Suze? Okay, so, there are some great deals going on the website too. So right now, we don't have any totally Tiffany sales going on, but the things that are on sale on the Crafters Companion website, they are trying to always make sure that those deals are also on the Totally Tiffany website. So there's quite a few things on there today. I think we have a $10 Tuesday coming up next week, if I remember correctly. But if you click on specials tab on the Totally Tiffany website, it will also show you the things that are on sale that are with, Crafters Companion does so many shows on Crafters TV. And it used to be the TT stuff. You had to go to Crafters Companion to find it. But now they're trying to post them right on the TT website also, because so many of you said it's hard to find stuff on Crafters Companion website that's TT. Can we just get it over there? And so they're working on getting that. So today you will find what's happening on Crafters TV available on the Totally Tiffany website if you just click on the on special tab. Whew. All right, my friends. So for those of you who are Canadian, well, actually, Paper Crafters Workshop ships all over. They ship all over the US and all over Canada. So if you want to join me again tonight, 6 o'clock, I will be at papercraftersworkshop.ca. I think there's going to be some links in social media about where it is. I will be on their channel, not mine. But if you want to pop in and join me for that this evening, I would love to see you again. If you haven't heard enough already this morning and you want a little bit more Tiffany in your life tonight at 6 o'clock. Uh-oh. Yeah. Oh, Susie's raising her hand for a question.
Doris Hilbane, how do you get the dollar price on the Crafters Companion site? It's showing everything in British pounds.
Oh, so if you're on the Crafters Companion site and you're seeing things in British pounds, go to the top of the site and there's a little drop down where you can switch. So you are actually on the British site. There's a little drop down with I think it has a little American flag icon. You can click on that and that will convert you over to US dollars. The Totally Tiffany site, I think, is only in US dollars, though. There might be a UK TT site. I guess I don't know that. So, okay, let's talk about the big winner today. Uh-oh. We got another question. What is the best storage for crocodiles? Crocodiles fit great in the 2-drawer storage and support. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's two sizes. You got the big bite, and then you've got the regular crocodile, right? So the regular crocodile fits in the 2-drawer storage and supply case. The big bite would sit, it depends if you're traveling with it. I just have mine. It just slides in and out. It's over there. I use it all the time, but I just have it in a slide stash and store, right? So it's in that on the shelf. So it has kind of the rubbery feet. So I can just slide it on pull that box out, grab it and slide it back in and bring it out. I use it, right? It's probably my favorite punch. It's so, I even use it when I don't need to, right? Like any any opportunity I have because it sits on your desktop. It's so easy to work with. But I would put it in slide stash and store if you're on desk. I bet it would probably, if you wanted to travel with them, I bet they would both fit in a 12 by 12 paper. Do you know what the big bite is, Susie? It's on it's on the shelf. So keep going, keep going. It should be right in there. It's silver. I just used it at Craft Club, and I'm wondering if I even got it out of my car yet. It has a bluish green handle on it. It's about, it's impossible to describe. Plus, I don't know what it is. I have some other challenges with words for stuff. So poor Susie, it's right here. Sorry. Poor Susie. I'm like, it looks like this. It does that. So, right. So here it is. It's got those little rubber feet, but I think it'll fit in here. And you could probably put both your crocodile, and if you have accessories that go with your crocodile, right, grommets or whatever, yeah, you could probably put in both in the 8.5 by 11 paper taker, right? So if you wanted to travel with them or keep them kind of tucked away, you could do that. If you use it at home mostly, then I would put it into a slide stash and store, so it just slides on and off your shelf really easily. I don't know. This is a 4. I don't know if that's the one I have it in. It probably fits in a 3 also, right? So you could put this and your regular crocodile together and then just slide them on the shelf, label it at the end, and have access to it that way, right? So this is one of those tools that's hard to store because it's all bulky and weird shape. So into a slide stash and store, you could probably even put it, let's say this is a 4. This is a 3, but it would fit in here. This is actually pretty good. Oh, I've got my name. Yeah, so you could even put it into a 3 as well, and then put your bigger crocodile, your handheld crocodile at the end. There you go, Susie, crocodile. Make a note. You've one more piece of crafting information to stuff in your brain.
Carolyn Hanley says there is no UKTT site, unfortunately.
All right. Carolyn Hanley says no UK. Thank you, Carolyn. Thanks for being here today. Says no UKTT site, so you have to buy all your TT stuff on crafterscompanion.com.
And Lisa McCoy would like to know what bag would be good for the Gemini Junior for on the go.
Gemini Junior on the go is Gemini Junior. Huh. Boy, I'm going to say probably a lowest tote. So this is the Junior, right? So I would think if you put the Junior in your lowest tote and then you put one of the slide stash and stores behind it, then you could put all your platforms into the slide stash and store and keep those vertical as well. And I keep my cords in like a usually, I think most of them are in, I'll look over there, in the Irene buddy bag. So I'll have the cords and cables for the machines in the Irene buddy bag, and they're all there. Hi, Mom. My mom just wandered in, everybody. So yes, I would say, and as you know, get your rotating design board. Mine is stuck on the shelf somehow. It gets hot in here. There we go, my little feet. Get your rotating design board and take that in your lowest tote too, because you can feed those plates in the front and grab them as they come out the back. Super simple. And it is also going to stand up in your lowest tote or in your slide stash and store. But just a great way to organize that, and super useful when you have the rotating design board with it. And that is the 9 by 11 rotating design board. But if you have the 12 by 12, or if you bought the 12 by 12 at the sale, smoke and deal, $14.99, the 12 by 12 rotating design board will fit in your lowest tote or your Cindy tote also. And you can travel with that as well. Okay, the drum roll for the big winner. Nora McDonald, you are this week's winner of a $25 gift certificate. So reach out to prizes, that's prizes with an S, at crafterscompanion.com, and let them know that you are today's winner on the Totally Tiffany Tuesday Live. If you don't already have a Club Inspire account, please do that first because they will just deposit that money right into your account so you can shop away. All right, my crafty friends. Oh, thanks so much for tuning in today. I will see some of you tonight at Paper Crafters Workshop, and I will see the rest of you next Tuesday. Take care, everybody.